Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Another week of a mixture. I was going to say unbelievable questions, a mixture of unbelievable and very average questions. But what I like most is that they keep asking them because it provides us with a podcast and another platform to add more value to you, people who listen, the two people who listen. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Today, I'm here with Nick Hanley and Sky Askey Hill with her very poor signal, probably. Now we press record. Tell me one good thing that happened over the weekend, Nick. What did you do?
One good thing that happened over the weekend. One set. Spoke to my parents. That was a good thing that happened over the weekend.
Okay. Sky, one good thing that happened over the weekend?
Can you hear me?
No, it's like jumping out, but carry on. Just keep trying. Or come back on your phone. Come back on your phone. It worked last time. Anyway, do you want to know what one good thing that happened to me over the weekend? Come on, because you've made this really shit at the start, and it was a good one.
Go on.
I seen the red arrows.
Planes.
Oh, yeah, red arrows, yeah.
That's it.
Class. Unreal, that. Unbelievable. Really good. Do you know, obviously, I've always wanted to see them. And do you know what? I need to go and book this Silverstone and go and see the F1. But you know when they fly over at the start? That's impressive, isn't it? Well, this time they were flying over Blackpool. I was going to say less impressive, but it was actually really good. Really, really good. Sky, you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you.
What one good thing happened to you over the weekend?
I had 2 weddings in the space of 48 hours. That was good. I enjoy a good wedding. From
the description that you just described to me, your weekend, I feel that your best part of the weekend was the fact that you did one of them in a motorhome. I think that's fucking elite.
Yeah, it was good, but I didn't sleep very well. I booked us a pub to stay at with free breakfast, which we did the first night, and then Rick wanted to be near his mate's house because he was best man. So he was like, let's just park outside their house, which is all well and good until it's 6 a.m. and everybody's driving past. So I just didn't sleep very well. But I do like the motorhome. I like the 3 of us being in there, and it's like a little adventure, and it's dead convenient. So I do like a motorhome, but I just wasn't very happy about it because I didn't sleep very well. I slept for 9 hours last night.
I would have come and put bread on top of the motorhome, for all the birds to come and peck.
Just to start landing.
That's what we used to do at football tournaments. When we used to go away and play football tournaments, we used to put bread, if we stayed in caravan, on the physio's top of his caravan. The fucking birds would fly in and pet the fuck out of the caravan.
Oh, she did.
Right then, I'll ask the first question. It's a good one, to be fair. What is the best strategy when starting to post marketing material? I currently post workouts / my training. I want to push my online coaching and pre-made programs. Is there an optimal way to advertise all free services without it looking repetitive to customers? Who do we go with? Go on, we'll go with Sky.
Okay, first part, what is the best strategy when starting to post marketing material? I think you have to make it clear of who it's for, like what your coaching has been designed, who it's been designed for, what problems it solves. So you have to have a mix of kind of client testimonials, like in their words, and then you have to have in your words. Why did you create this? Why have you put it together? What outcomes is it going to give you? The overall kind of view you should have about marketing material. Workouts and training, I don't really think is marketing. I think it shows maybe you living your values and maybe you doing things that you have asked your clients to do. I think it's great in that sense, but I don't think it really motivates people or inspires people to maybe reach out to you. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if you're working with athletic populations, it might. Pushing online coaching and pre-made programs, I think, again, it's just being very clear about what it does and what it doesn't do. So if it's a pre-made program, you're not getting one-to-one coaching, you're not getting problem solving, you're not getting weekly support, you're getting something that has been designed to give this outcome. So as long as you can communicate that this is for this person, this is for this person, and if these are your problems, this is what it's going to solve, that's how I would target that or think about that. I don't know if any of that made sense, but jump in and add what you would say.
Nick?
No, I think that's a good overview, mate. Strategy-wise would be giving yourself some intent behind what you're selling, definitely, and who you're selling it to, very simply. Not that you can't sell multiple things at once, but as you're starting out, having one intent behind what you're aiming, what you're creating awareness around, and what problems you're trying to solve with that particular service creates more clarity on what you're going to be creating from a content point of view. Having calls to action is going to be important, both on the grid and also through stories, probably more through stories, priming people throughout that process. And the things you've also got to create is FOMO, fear of missing out. You've got to create urgency. You've got to create scarcity. You've got to create that emotional feeling of this is exactly what I need. This is exactly where I am. Loads of social proof, build up to a launch in regards to building intrigue, and just be really clear, I think, on one thing, in my opinion, works better than trying to do multiple things at once. And by the sounds of the two programs, they sound like they do two slightly different things. So that could conflict things.
Next question, please.
If you were looking to build your socials following, what main areas of your content would you focus on? I completed the whole month of posting every day. What I felt like was good content, and my followers actually went down. Anthony.
First of all, I get that in regards to how you could see that as a negative, but I had also look at that as a positive too, because what you're doing is filtering out people who probably you're not for. I don't know because I haven't looked at your content. That maybe they've realized because you're being a little bit more specific and targeted that it's definitely not for them what you do. So I wouldn't take all of that as a negative, although some of it would be. Do you know what I mean? You're naturally going to look at it and go, fuck, like you'd expect it to grow, but it depends on the objective you put behind the month's worth of content. But if you specifically want to commit to growing your socials, in my opinion, you have to commit to that for a decent period of time, and that being the only one metric that you are aiming to achieve off the back of your content. Let me just read the question again. Sorry, I completed the whole long for if you were looking to grow your socials, what main content would you focus on? Okay, so I think first of all, as cheesy and as cringy as it is, I would be telling people like to follow you for more information of X, Y, Z, whatever it is. I know it's cringy. I know you probably don't want to do it, but fact is, people need telling. We had a chat, me and Nick, last week about this in regards to what grew our following the most in a year compared to how it grows now. And I look back, and a lot of the time it's because I was telling people what I wanted them to do, like swipe, save, and share. And people, used to have loads of shares, so loads of engagement, or loads of saves, and so on. So directly tell people that you want them to follow you. So I think first of all, that's got to be in your content. I think you're after non-followers, so you have to look at what's going to work from a non-follower perspective. Okay. So first of all, get more of your current followers to share your shit. I would make sure that you put a real good focus on the reach-based content. So that's a hell of a lot of reels. And actually, you could argue the case of if the content's good enough, the carousels will reach the right non-followers too. So very much depends on your content. How specific that you're going to be in regards to calling the type of person out that you want to follow you. I think that's really important. And then I would look at how can you get your current clients to help you grow, and also how can you get the current gym that you're in right now to help you grow. One of the lads has just grown over 100 followers in the last 2 weeks purely from putting a QR code in classes to get people to follow him for just a free program. So for me, there is some manual ways that you can control, and then you've got the algorithm-based stuff that you can't really control, but you can put some really good effort into the stuff that you know is naturally going to get more non-followers onto your page. But then you've got to remind people to follow you. So you've got, in my opinion, you've got to make a really conscious effort for a long period of time of focusing on content that absolutely ticks that box for that metric. Anything you would add, Sky?
No, I think you've covered it. But what I would say is we've been focusing a lot on ManyChat recently. And I think if you're going to do manual stuff, which I absolutely think you should if you're in a gym, maybe using ManyChat could be a really great platform for that. So it's not just follow me for my content. It might be I'm specifically running this kind of educational piece through September, or I'm doing this challenge through September, but you need to be following me to be part of it, and then use ManyChat to run it. That would be, I think, something, if I was trying to grow from my local area or gym, that would be something that I would be utilising. An automated challenge or something that I could run, coaching piece, and then use that as bait to get people to follow you, because you can't just rely on the algorithm anymore because it makes no fucking sense.
Excellent. Next question, please.
Am I asking?
Yes, correct.
Best way to engage people the most for an upcoming launch?
Question that.
Anthony.
I've just answered one, so it's Sky's go.
I know you're going to do that. The things that we've just mentioned, definitely in terms of being really clear about deadlines, creating some FOMO, some scarcity, but maybe even giving people a little snippet. And you actually had a really good analogy for this the other day. And it was about when a new film comes out and how do they engage people, or how do they advertise it or market it or get people really excited about it, and they show a trailer which is essentially a snippet of the film. So what we want to be doing when we're launching something, a new service or a new program, is we want to give people a snippet of that film, show people a little bit of what it is, give people a bit of a teaser, get them involved if you can. I know this person in particular went out and asked what the name of the program should be, kind of talked around what the program is made for and what the outcomes of that are, but then was asking people to help with a name for it. And if you've done research before this, which you should have done, to see if there's a place for it, then people, draw on what you've got from that, kind of, whether it was asking questions or doing surveys, draw on that information to get people engaged with it. You want it, like to your point earlier, Nick, you want people to see it and think, fucking hell, that's all the things that I currently think, or that's all the things that I currently feel, or they're all the things that I do that I want to work on, and this program is going to solve that, as well as closing date, maybe even spaces, and a little bit of a snippet of that. That's how I would drive the kind of engagement of a launch.
I
Anything
think
to
as
add?
well. Yeah, the only thing that I would add to this is that it depends on what it is that you're launching, but I think the snippet piece is really important. I think there's two angles to this. People will be interested off the back of you understanding the pain that they're in. So if you can anchor off the back of that, and I know a lot of people, some people don't like doing the whole pain point based marketing, but unfortunately that's what grabs people's attention and gets people interested. And if you can find a way that aligns with your values, then great. If you can't, then it's just a case of going all in on the pain that people are going through and then anchoring off the back of that to get people to raise their hands.
Everyone markets from pain points. I don't get that, actually. I don't get that when people say that. It's a bit weird, isn't it?
No, because I say that. I think there's a way that you can do it, like Ansha said, that fits with your values, and the way that you can do it that is just fucking condescending and just makes people feel like cunts.
Yeah, but you're still doing it from an emotional standpoint, aren't you?
Yeah, but I don't think I think it's less pain points and more about like the way that someone's feeling, like their frustrations, or not even frustrations, just like, I guess it is pain points, but it's not. You're not trying to twist the knife in. You're trying to make them feel seen and understood.
100%.
So it's like you're empathizing and connecting via, I felt this way, I've been in your position, rather than you're a piece of shit that you can't do this and you're an idiot for not doing this. And that's what I see in a lot of content.
No, I think I've got better at that. I got better at that. When I didn't realise that I was going after a raw amount of pain. Listen, I think going back to the point, like, it's been because that's where people will go, Ashley gets me. Yeah, I'm feeling like that. So I think putting some work in and around that point is really important. I also think, like, as mutually important it is you take out the real outcomes from whatever it is that you're selling. And let's say, for argument's sake, a big part of what it is that I'm selling is the program, right? And maybe it's you doing the workouts or a client doing the workouts, and it's savable. You're talking about engagement. So engagement is, can I get people to like my content at the moment? Can I get people to comment on my content? Can I get people to save my content? They're engaging in 3 different ways. And I would go as far to say that you would put them 3 things, and they can cross over, but like, what's going to get me lots of likes today? Well, we know it's the personal shit, right? Is it going to get people to buy? Probably not. But whilst they're there and you're mentioning this launch coming up, we've got people's attention and engagement, which is what you want. Savable, that's probably the stuff that they know they're going to use and help with. Like, I'll save, I don't know, a finisher of a workout sometimes. Go, do you know what? That looks decent. I'm going to have a go at that. Comment, a lot of the time it's your opinion. Like, what's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on that? What's your point of view on this? Like, and that might be, and I would go as far to say this, yes, they can cross over, but I would have 3 objectives in 3 different posts there during that time, just to get you used to going, what's going to get me likes? What's going to get me saves? What's going to get me comments? Because I think when you're training to be a marketer, which is what a lot of people, personal trainers, are doing right now, it's easier to focus on one point instead of trying to cross over 3 and try to be a full-time creator, because that's hard as fuck at points. So that's all I would add to that. Next question is, he has asked the same question again. I'm not sure I'm not sure he cares that much about the response. So I'll skip it today. I'll skip it today, but I will bring this up with him on Wednesday. But he's a top boy. Nick, this is brilliant for you. What's your biggest gimmick?
People in the gym. That's it. That's it. Just get out. Biggest.
Not lying there either.
No, that's why he's laughing so much.
Absolutely not. off. Biggest gym ick. I used to like when I used to be in commercial gyms. Like, the standard stuff that everybody gets an ick about, like people leaving weights around, people ego lifting, people arrogance. The
Yeah,
whole
but they're annoying things, aren't they? What makes you go like an ick is like, like, and
I've got 2 already.
I don't know. I don't train in commercial gyms anymore, so I haven't done for a long time now.
hey, you
Don't
can
know.
have an ick in a CrossFit gym. You can have an
Yeah,
ick in.
one of mine.
Why has he always got to come back on a commercial gyms?
Because I
Hey,
want it to. It's my
no,
question.
no.
I'll do what I want.
Sky, what yours? Because he's doing my nutting.
Right. Number 1 is shadow boxing in the corner with no bag. Just in between sets, just
I do that.
It's when they throw a front kick and an elbow that get me.
yeah. Or they have the hood up as well for no reason whilst they're doing it.
I'll
The
do that.
second one is, and this is, we've got a member in our box that does this, bless him. He won't listen to this, but it's fine. Fucking fingerless gloves. Fingerless gloves.
Okay, no, I've got one. Oh, I've got one now. I've got one. Gardening gloves.
What, at High Rocks?
Why are you wearing gardening gloves? What are you doing in the gym?
There's people in High Rocks that wear gardening gloves now to do the
Okay,
sled pulls and stuff.
I've got another one. I've got another one actually now. Training in high vis gear when you just come off the road doing traffic. That's another one.
Right, I've got eye training one every single morning. Right, there's this kid. Well, he must be. I say kid. He must be about 20, 21. And after every set, I swear to God, he's roll his top up and he'll take a picture of himself with his bicep. Then it'll be his tricep, and it's constant. And then his mate, he'll take his top off and he'll do chest supported lat pull down, and he will get his mate to film him. And I'm not gonna lie, right? And it's bad this. But there's more meat on a butcher's pencil. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing on him, the lad. Do you know what I mean? I feel like, have a word with yourself, son. The other one is when people sweat like mad everywhere and don't clean it up. That's awful.
Yeah,
Awful.
that's sick.
I feel like going over sometimes and just getting that sweat all over my hand and just slapping them right across the face with it. Awful.
Okay, last one. People that don't.
Listen, let's not talk about that one.
Oh,
He won't post the video because he won't lock out his reps.
That was the very last rep of the whole workout, so do one.
Just blame it on mobility. Most blokes do.
No, it wasn't mobility. That was sheer strength of the fact that I'd gone and picked up a 25 kilo to do the snaps, and then realised that it was the very last round, and I was done. I was finished. Dragging myself through it to get lectured for it.
Right, my answer to the next question.
Well, it looks as though you're here all week on this question. Bloody hell.
Right, okay. This has been on this person's mind all week, right? They have a mix of hopefulness and a bit of doubt. I just want some reassurance and perspective. I've been invited to take a break and join a close friend for a 10-day trip in early Jan 2026. I'd really like to go, but I know that's peak season for the business. I don't want to say no, but I also don't want to leave the business unattended. I'm torn. In past years, I've been very active and motivated during that time. So one thought is bring someone in to handle my boot camp and PT sessions while I'm away, or just step back completely for those 10 days. I'm not sure which makes more sense. In February, I want to spend a month in India with my son when he turns 12 to help him with school routines and support him as he's starting to get involved in great opportunities in the Football League alongside school commitments. But right now I'm struggling with the idea of being away for a whole month. Should I start taking on more online clients now so I can maintain income and engagement while I'm there? As I'll outline in my 6-month plan, I want to shift more toward online or hybrid clients. I'm wondering, would taking these trips actually align with that direction? Could this be a good way to test the waters and gain first-hand experience working more remotely?
That's a really good question, by the way. Who's taking it?
Oh,
go on, Nick.
I've answered it already, so you guys.
Okay, Ant.
I think first and foremost, I would look at what's most important to you, and I think this is where, and I know some people find it a bit airy-fairy or a bit wishy-washy, but this is what would really help me in that one, is going, what decision takes me closer to what's important to me or further away what's important to me, if that makes sense. So my biggest value is family. So what you just explained is, right, well, for me, I've got an opportunity, and if I choose work, it's taking me further away. So that conflicts with who I am as a person. That decision is made for me. So I'm going for it, right? Might not be as simple for you, I don't know. But I would look at what's important to you first. If that's the case, and it looks as though it is, seeing as though your son and all of that type of stuff, for me, you've got a really good length of time in 5 months to prep yourself for that one main goal, to whatever it is from a value perspective to get people online, what it would cover from a cost perspective to get the person to cover your boot camps and PT. But you've got good time to set yourself up for it. So in my opinion, yes, it's not an ideal time of year because February is the peak time of year for you. But can you set yourself up if you work immensely well from now until that moment to make sure that you can go and enjoy that time and have some time off? Or maybe you do a bit of a hybrid of being present and also working early hours or late at night. So you've still got a bit of a working environment. So in my opinion, like to me, going off what you've just put there, I would lean towards doing it. But now making sure that there's a clear plan, clear goals, and you set up for that. And you're agreeing on, am I all out or am I a little bit in with the working environment too? So yeah, that would be my answer to that. Did you say anything different, Nick?
Not really.
Next question is, how does one person actually do it all? It is a fair question, this, right? Yeah, I'm sure this person's asked this question before, but that is a fair question because there is a hell of a lot of moving parts and it can sometimes feel like, Jesus Christ, like I am being pulled from pillar to post. How does one person do it all? I'm going to come to Nick.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've got to listen. The obvious answer is no, you can't do it all at once. And I think it comes down to managing your expectations quite a bit. And I also think it's also about facing into the things that you don't like doing, don't enjoy doing. We talk about this probably every week. Find difficult, find out your comfort zone, because ultimately those are the things that are probably making you feel that way. But chipping away at those things and understanding them to a point and doing them repetitively to a point where you can understand it enough to either outsource it and spend the money or spend the time. And that's what it ultimately is going to come down to, is like when you are building a business and scaling a business or whatever point you're at, there are multiple different things to do consistently. And there's two options you've got. And I know this is keeping it quite basic, but I think it is sometimes. You either spend the time learning, failing, fucking up, and spending more time getting to the place of that certain thing, whether it's marketing, systems, tech, whatever, until you finally get to the point where it's doing the thing you want it to do. Or you do a little bit of it, understand it enough to then know, right, for the time I'm spending on this, I'm better off personally spending money rather than my time and doing it that way. And there's obviously a lot of software that would help with different things, but even so, you still got to set it up. You still got to create the things that are going to give you time back. So, short answer, mate, is everyone doesn't do it all. Everyone gets help, which is probably why you're here.
There's a third thing to this, because we spoke about this morning, is that sometimes there is an illusion that you can't pull more time from somewhere, which looking at your schedule might be a fact. So then you have to look at, well, am I being diligent with my time? Like, are there things that I could change or switch? Or is something taking me more time than it should? And like you said, invest a bit of time to learn more to make it easier. So we had a conversation about this person's got one client that they do on a Monday, which is an hour and a half round trip of driving for that one session. So that's 2.5 hours gone of their day because that person can't do any other time in the week. That to me is 2.5 hours where I could get so much done, the things that this person's struggling with. So that's a conversation that needs to be had. There's also other things like when you go and have an admin block, well, where are you doing it? And are you actually spending that whole admin block doing admin, or are you with somebody else and chatting to them? This person goes to their mum's house and has lunch with their mum. So what is maybe 5 hours actually becomes 2 hours of lunch and chatting to your mum, and then 3 hours of admin. So it's looking at, well, where am I spending my time? And then programming again. We had a chat about programming. They're making different programs for every single person rather than using a skeleton and then tweaking it to fit the person. So there's loads of things that people sometimes miss, and they're genuinely looking at their week thinking there's no more time that I can pull. But when you dive into each particular task, or look at, am I being efficient with the time that I have, there's going to be things that you can do. And don't underestimate the power of getting 2 hours back in your week, because it's huge.
Love it. Next question, please.
If the world was to end tomorrow, what would your last meal be and why?
Steak and chips, did you just say?
That's what he's going to say.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
No.
Is it?
Go on, Sky, you go first.
Well, we've had this before and I can't remember what my answer was. I just love all food, but probably some sort of Mexican dish, like maybe tacos, fajitas, cheese, guacamole, sour cream. Yeah, that would be my meal.
An American style breakfast.
Go on.
But everything.
I'm going to keep it British, me, because I'm British and I'm proud to be British.
Pie and peas.
Fine.
I would have steak and ale pie, right,
That's it.
with chips and gravy and a buttered muffin.
Oh yeah, buttered muffin with gravy. That's the one.
Yeah, have that. See,
But
don't
nothing.
come at me. And why? My reason for that is because that's just like, it's homely, innit? It's warm. It's proper. You know what I mean? It's
Proper.
proper, that, and you feel full after it. And any meal that you feel full and you feel like, "Do you know what, I could just have a little sleep here now." That's a good meal. That's a good meal, that, isn't it?
Well, you're about to have a big sleep if you're on death row, so that's the meal that you want.
There you go. If you want a good kip, steak and ale pie, chips and gravy with a buttered muffin. Next question, please.
At what point did you feel successful in work? Do you feel successful? Bit open-ended, but was thinking about it today.
Who's that?
I'm going to go Nick.
Do I feel successful in work? I feel successful in work in comparison to where we were or where I was. Do I feel successful in where I want to go? No, because I'm not there yet. Bit of a mixed bag.
Was a bit, wasn't it?
I think anyone running an online business now where it's service-based and goes past their first year, I think is successful, to be honest with you, especially in our industry. But where do we want to go? No, I don't feel successful.
What's your take, Anne?
I think, like, at what point do you feel successful in work? I think there's individual milestones that you reflect on and going, wait a minute, like, that's a really good reassuring feeling that that's working well and this is the evidence of it. So I think being able to help coaches get their first mortgage, open their first gym, launch online and be really successful online, and helping them do that makes me feel successful in what we do. And I know that might be a cliche answer, but it provides you with the evidence of going, actually, the coaching, the guidance, the processes, the methods, the education that you're providing people is helping them be a success, so you're a success. And then individual milestones in regards to kind of how we're seen within the industry or asked in certain things in regards to speaking events or all of that. I think sometimes it makes me go, actually, we're doing something right if we're around some of the names that we're asked to speak around as well. I think that's just a little bit of, oh, actually, we must be doing something right. It's never a moment of going, we're fucking amazing. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we're like that. I think there's some moments. I agree with Nick. There's that constant drive to achieve more. But I also think that right now we've got loads of coaches in the academy, loads of people who affect on a training provider perspective and all of that. And that's successful in its own right. Like, to build an online business and a coaching and mentoring program that has served hundreds, if not thousands of people is very successful. So yeah, I would say that we are successful. What about you, Sky?
How did he word it? At what point do you feel successful? I think for me, it's the feedback that I get from clients. And that's not necessarily them like smashing it, or I think it's them feeling supported and feeling like they're being coached, so that they know that if they have a problem, then we solve it together, and it's bringing them problems. It's not just having problems, but not really bring it to me or not getting through it. So I think the more that you do it and the more problems you help people overcome and you support them through, that to me feels successful. And it's taken me ages to not view success in like the eyes of others and what other people are doing. That definitely. And then just with like podcasts and people saying that helped me, I really enjoyed that episode, or being asked to speak at events and then people saying, that was really valuable. That for me, I think it's all about the impact, isn't it? And that felt like being successful. So even when I have months where maybe on paper business isn't doing as well as it has done 6 months previously, am I still having an impact? Yes. Cool. Well, then if I continue to have an impact, my business is going to keep moving forward. So that's how I kind of measure it.
Love it. Class. I don't know where we're up to, but I'll ask the next question.
To increase emails for pushing sales without coming across as just spamming people and them unsubscribing.
I think there has to be a bit of a strategy behind it. I think like a lot of the time, first and foremost, I will say the fact that most coaches, when they start email marketing, think they're spamming people, right? By sending 1 or 2 emails a week. So if you're going to look to increase that around the sales launch period, then I would try and remove the fact that you think you're going to be spamming people. Because let's be dead honest, how many times have you gone into an email yourself after being emailed 3 or 4 times within a week and then unsubscribed? And if that's the case, then it's probably for the best anyway. So I think having that mindset around it first and foremost is important. The next point is what I said at the start, is having a bit of a strategy towards how that goes. So for argument's sake, if I'm launching towards the first week of September, I might start on a frequent 2 emails a week, but I actually might start to increase the social proof that I'm putting in. So the stories of my clients and the results that they're achieving, and then a little bit more pain, and then some more outcomes. And then I might go, let's say for argument's sake, 2 emails this week, 3 emails to plant the seed a little bit that's specifically about that program, a little bit more about the program the week after, and then it's a sales week, so I might increase that to kind of 3, 4, potentially 5 if that's something that you're willing to do. But then you've got this sales window where you have to be as consistent as possible. So I think without waffling on too much, if you're doing 1 a week now, doing 2, 3, 4 for a short period of time is not going to hurt you or anyone else. And if they unsubscribe, that won't be a bad thing. But I would put a strategy behind it and layer the level of information and stuff about the program over time. Anything you'd add? Oh, this is a good question. How can you increase a potential client's perceived value of the service you offer in conversation? Nick?
Reflective questions, I think, is going to be the first thing. I think you sitting there in a conversation trying to overly convince, there's got to be some confidence and positivity from you, right? Because if you're not confident in what you can do for people, it will absolutely come across in the way that you answer certain questions and the certainty you have behind your product and your offer. So there has to be that. But does there have to be a convincing side of things? No, I don't believe there is or should be or needs to be. I think the perceived value is them seeing. It's not particularly about your offer in conversation. It's more about them being able to understand what's happened in the past, why that has happened or hasn't happened in the past, and then essentially giving them the space to kind of say, well, I need this, and building it out together. And we're talking about, a personalized program. A lot of people pass that around, but when you're having that conversation, you're building the solution out with the person that is personalized. So it's very much around that scenario, because if I can help someone understand why something didn't go right previously and put a mirror up to them about the repetitive nature of their habits that have led them to the same end point, and provide them with a space to say, I think I need this, and then discussing it around that, how that would look going forward, that's creating more belief in what you can deliver. More importantly, and probably way more importantly, it's creating a belief in them that they can achieve it. A lot of the time, it's them versus the offer. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I would get around that. Anything you'd add?
No. Last question.
Is it books on PT business?
Books on PT business. I don't know of any, but fortunate for you, you're in the right place. There's plenty of reading, plenty of watching, and I know this person's fairly new to us, but there's plenty of reading and plenty of watching to be done as you go through the PT business transformation itself, which would probably make you not need, from a time perspective, a book. But if you're looking for book recommendations, I don't think there is, in my opinion, a decent book out there from a PT business perspective. Marketing perspective, which is what most people struggle with from a business point of view. This is Marketing by Seth Godin is a good read. From a business perspective, if you need time out to read, 10 to 20 pages a day to get your head around marketing in a different way. But there's also a whole lot that you need to immerse yourself in here to get the most out of it. So I would prioritize this first. But that would be one book that I would recommend in the meantime. Right, here we go. Sky, right? Sky.
What?
Normally, we finish this podcast and we go, Nick, any final thoughts? His final thoughts are normally pretty shit. So, Sky, any final thoughts for today?
No, I don't have any final thoughts. You caught me off guard. I'm not good off guard. Why have you done this?
What you did, BJJ. You're supposed to be fucking decent in guard and all Off guard.
Just
Okay.
so everyone knows, what happens before we press record on this podcast is there's a timer that counts down from 5 and someone just shouts at the person that's got to do the intro. And I don't like that, and I don't like this. So ask me next week. Over to you, Nick. What are your final thoughts?
Fuck all. Lunchtime. Enough here. Given enough. 43 minutes. Given enough to these people. This person listening.
These two people.
Did you see the milestone? 50,000 whatever it listens or whatever.
50,000 listeners. What? 112 of them is my mum.
The other lot of my mum.
That's why I've stopped swearing as much on here.
All right.
Go on then. Sod off.
Go.
Oh.